Hey, it's Wolfy-Chan, and I'm back with another anime review first impression. This is Restaurant from Another World, or Restaurant from Another World, of Another World. Ah! The name sometimes. Restaurant of Another World. So this one I have caught on to and am slowly falling in love with. Like, not I wasn't entirely sure of the first episode, but now I think I'm 3 or 4 episodes in, and I'm in love. So here is a awesome trailer for it. And that is Restaurant of Another World. And it's not like the best trailer for it, but it's the best trailer that I could find for it. Sorry. This is a really interesting anime because of, I guess, the sense of wonder I'm getting from it. So, this starts off in a restaurant called Nokoya. And this restaurant caters to basically people from another world. So this store, I can't remember the day that they call it. It's like Day of Saturn, I think that, if I remember right, that's what they call it. And it happens every 7 days. So once, basically a week, a door comes up and you can walk in it and order your favorite food. Pay for it however you can, jewels, coins, anything. And the first episode stars this person, and she is a dragon. She turns into human form just so that she can basically eat his beef stew. And she loves it. She orders a ton of it. She orders a huge keg of it and gives him a huge bag of money. And so that's very interesting. And each episode basically has 2 stories in it. It goes the dragon and then goes to our demon girl, who is the only oh goodness, the word characteristics. Got me there for a second. Of being a demon or being protected by the demons is that you have horns. And my whole thing with that is really? Just horns. So they're not magically inclined, they're not special, they're not anything. We actually find out later on in the episode, or not in this episode, but I think episode 3 or 4, that we meet a half elf and half human. And it's even cooler because they have a gist that even if it's 2 humans, and all of a sudden there's an elf that comes out about from no reason, it's just that there might have been an elf in your bloodline. So somebody could have bound chicka wow an elf. And there's a half elf. And thus, all of a sudden there's a half elf. And you're like, well, somebody in our family did this. It reminds me of something else that I watched. And it was just funny because it's, oh, it's not that you cheated on me. It's just that it could happen in our family line. It's pretty cool. But you find out that the half-elves have magic. But the people who are born from demons are people who are just normal, and then they were born and they just had demon horns. They're not considered good. They're, not people, almost? So it's kind of weird. We meet our maid, and she's just adorable. She wants to help. She wants money. She's just trying. And it's really kind of cool because in the episode that we kind of meet the half-elves too, she talks about that she's memorized all of the menu. Even though she can't really read the language, she's memorized from talking to him about all of the food on the menu, and that's pretty adorable. Another one is that, like, instead of shrimp, they call it shripe. And I think that's funny and awesome because in the second episode, we get more detail about kind of a lord who couldn't pay for food. He needed it so bad he gave his sword, and this samurai guy who is part of it or goes to the restaurant on a normal basis gave his sword back, and then he came back to order shripe, and it's kind of funny. The next girl eats a pork cutlet, and she realizes this scholar who found this door and big thing and a mystery and all that stuff, this is what he was eating. She comes back. It's really funny. And then we actually meet an elf, which is funny because when we meet a half-elf, they go past each other, and it's like not... I understand why, like, the elf wasn't like, you're a half-elf. Oh, like, none of that. But to me, it was like, I would still mark it later. Like, if we followed her outside the door and I was like, was that a half-elf? Was that a full elf? I don't know. I was happy though. Like, you know, I get from another restaurant, if somebody was French and I walked past them, I would have just been like, oh, they're French. Tourism. Awesome. But that would have just been me. So I just thought it was kind of cool to see both an elf and a half-elf. Kind of not really interacting or anything like that. Also because the half-elf eats pudding that has eggs in it. Yet the elf does not eat any meat, anything that comes from meat, anything that comes from an animal, nothing like that. It has to be all veggies, all of it. So when she orders it, it's a tofu steak, which tofu is made from soy, if I remember right. Definitely tell me in the comment section below, what's tofu made out of? I like learning, but if I remember right, it's from soy or soy curd? If not, definitely tell me in the comments. But she tries it and she's like, oh my goodness, this is wonderful flavor, this is awesome taste, didn't know humans could do this. All that good stuff. It's quite interesting. And just to see, because after that you meet a lizard person who's really into curry, I believe, and I was really worried about that episode because I'm like, oh goodness, you're about to see lizard junk, oh goodness, and then you just see it's like a Ken doll. Nothing there, and I was just like, wait, how do more lizard people live? How is there lizard babies? Somebody needs to explain to me in the anime how this works, but they won't. It's kind of like a little one-off thing. It was weird. I reacted weirdly to it because I was like, he's cleaning himself because he's a warrior, but it's just, yeah. It's kind of like the first episode with the dragon lady. This dragon lady, she has no clothes, but all of a sudden, her, I'm guessing servant, comes with the dress, she puts it on, and goes into the restaurant, because, you know, you can't be naked in a restaurant. So, this is a really wacky anime, and so far, I like it. I think it's really cool. I'd recommend this to anybody who just likes a really interesting story. Because it does, in an episode, go over 2 different kind of characters that come into this restaurant, which is Nicoya. And you find out more about the restaurant and more details about it and stuff like that. The only question so far I have is, where does he sleep? Does he go back into the real world, like our world, naturally? There's no way that I've ever seen this guy walk out into the fantasy world, ever. But the previous person who owned it, which he says, I believe, is his grandfather, he's been with and dealt with people who were also from this other world. So, I'm thinking he inherited it from his grandfather. But so, like, in those also 7 days, do they, like, is it normal business for normal people? In one of the episodes, he has people that come in and give ingredients so that the other world people have similar or really good taste, so that he can kind of make it for them and not humans, because, you know, that kind of stuff. But somebody actually profits, funny enough, from the restaurant giving him ingredients. So the guy basically is like, yeah, I profit from his tomato sauce and his pastas and all that stuff. I profit from it. I don't make this stuff. I don't do any of that. I just get the chef to make me lots of it, and I sell it. That's it. Although, I do compensate him greatly, and he does. He brings like 2 heaping bags full of food on top of a huge chest full of money. So, I understand. But it's like, you sneaky person. But yeah, it doesn't really go over what happens before the 7 days. Or before the 7th day that he does this restaurant. And believe me, the chef explains to everybody that's like, why is there a door? What's it here? Like, he explains to everyone, oh, you've probably never seen this door, but it's a door to another world. I cook food. You pay me for food. That's it. And doesn't explain, like, why the door pops up. Why is it here? What's its use? Or anything like that. Is it really just to provide food to anybody? And is there multiple doors? Because it seems like different people come and go through different doors. There must be like over 1,000 of them, right? So that's kind of my question so far. But once again, it's like the 4th or 3rd episode that I've watched, and I love it. So if they can, like, even at the end of the anime season, tell me more about it. If not, I believe I saw something about a manga. Definitely tell me in the comment section below if that's right or wrong. But I actually wouldn't mind reading also the manga. This seems just so interesting, and I bet money on it that they tell me more details about the restaurant and the door in the manga. But hey, I like it so far. This is really good. I'd morally recommend this to probably 17 to 18. Just because there are weirdly naked scenes. But like with the Dragon Lady, it's covered up by her enormous amount of bountiful hair. And the Lizard Man is a Ken doll, but you know, right? And I would say if you like adventures, or if you just like strange stories with food, this is definitely something that you should check out. So, if you like this video, definitely leave a like. Leave it in the comment section below. Have you started watching Restaurant from Another World, this anime? And if you like it, do know that I am watching the English dubs, so I am a little bit later on it. So definitely don't spoil it too much for me. I like watching it as it comes out. And definitely subscribe if you haven't already, because I do upload every day from Sunday to Saturday, Monday to Sunday. Got something new, something old, something different. And if you want to follow me on Twitter or Facebook, the links are down below. And I hope that you are having a very wonderful, wonderful day. Even a little bit magical, just a little. Wolfy-Chan out. Bye.